One of the key aspects of a lifesteal server is making sure you have spare gear if you die or lose a fight. And as LifeGate's best PvPer, I figured I'd show you the quickest ways to get max enchanted gear sets. The first step to this is a tripwire hook farm. This duplicates tripwire hooks so you can then sell those tripwire hooks to villagers. Because if you trade with a Fletcher villager to its maximum level, you have a chance for it to sell tripwire hooks, which you can then trade for emeralds. Either that or they sell tipped arrows, and if they do, well, because yeah, you want them to sell tripwire hooks for emeralds. Making the tripwire hook farm is relatively simple. To start with, you have to be facing either north or west. This is -Z or -X. So if you look in the top left, when I'm going north, my Z is going down. And when I'm going west, my X is going down. But in this case, because my X and Z are in the negatives, they'd be going up. We're going to break 3 blocks out like this, and then a double chest and a hopper connected to it. Then we're going to place a fence like this on the double chest with a block here and rails like this. And a hopper minecart on this rail, then you break this and put a door here instead. Then you place 2 solid blocks like this, a temporary block here, then 2 blocks like this, and 2 blocks like this, so it looks like this. Make sure you put redstone on all these blocks here, then you place your tripwire hooks, place your string, and it works like that. So it's kind of glitchy, but the tripwire hooks get collected in here, and it's relatively fast, so you get tripwire hooks pretty quickly. And if you want to turn it off, you can either place a lever like this, although it will keep making a noise, or you can just break the string of one of the tripwire hooks. But you will have to most likely place a tripwire hook back here every time, because if it stops like that, then the tripwire hook will disappear. And then you can buy things like ender pills to escape battles, or XP battles to repair your armor, golden carrots for saturation, and then nearly any book from librarians, so stuff like sharpness, mending, protection, basically everything. If you can't tell, villagers are very crucial for this. As for getting villagers, there are 2 ways. The first way is by finding zombie villagers and curing them, and the second way is taking 2 villagers to your base and breeding them. First of all, you want a water source under a composter, and then on each side of the composter you want to go out 4 blocks with dirt, kind of like this, and then just fill in the gap. Then around this square you want to place 2 blocks of glass like this so that the villagers can't escape. Then you want to place a trapdoor like this so only baby villagers can pass through the hole that we're about to make. You come to this side, place a trapdoor like this, and then you just want like loads of blocks or something on this side. Then on this side you want to place around 5 beds. Then you want to till this ground and place any crops such as carrots, potatoes or wheat. Then if you want, you can bone meal the crops like this. You don't have to, but I'm going to. Also, this hole here, make sure it leads to wherever you want your baby villagers to go. In this case though, I'm just going to dig all the way down and place some water like this. Finally, you want to bring your villagers over here, but I'm just going to use spawn eggs because I can't bother. So how this works is the farmer will collect these carrots and then he'll pass it on to the next villager, then they'll both have enough carrots for them both to breed. Oh, but eventually they'll breed. It didn't show the particles though, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, they'll make baby villagers. Oh, we saw it there. And those baby villagers, they'll try and get to the beds, but because this trapdoor's here, they'll just fall all the way down. And then when these baby villagers grow up, you can use them for trading. Also, you can modify this. Instead of having composters and water here, you can have like one here, one here, one here. Just so then you can have more farmers to breed. Kind of like this. Realistically though, you can have as many composters as you want, as long as there's enough beds for baby villagers to spawn and then fall down there. And finally, I would strongly advise having your villager breeder underground so that other players can't find them and then your base. As in a PvP server, raiding bases and like killing people, that's what it's all about. And once you get loads of villagers, what you can do is make a long train hole similar to this. You'd probably want a lot more villagers though, so more farmers, more clerics, more librarians and more fletchers. In my opinion, the farmers aren't as important, so I'd have more of these 3. As the only thing you get from farmers is golden carrots, which is good for saturation, but there are other food sources in the game. Whereas with a cleric, you got pills and XP bottles, which are kind of crucial for fighting. And then librarians, you've got all the different enchantment books for gearing up. And finally, you sell tripwire hooks to Fletcher villagers, so you definitely want a lot of them. The next step in gearing up is making sure you have enough XP to do all the enchantment you'll need. And for that, we're going to make an armadillo XP farm, which is why we've moved to the savannah. So this farm is incredibly simple to make. You really don't need a lot of resources. The only difficult part of this is potions and infestation. To make these, you have to go to the nether and get supplies for ruin. But once you've done that, all you need to do is put nether wart in to turn the bottles of water into awkward potions. Then you are put stone in so they become infestation potions. And finally, put gunpowder in to turn them into splash potions. And you're going to want a lot of these. I'd suggest getting at least a chest full. So the first step in making this farm is placing 8 slabs in a square like this. Oh, and make sure you don't use any type of stone or stone brick or cobblestone, as the silverfish in this farm will be able to break through them and then they'll break the farm. Then you are to break 3 blocks down and then to the left and the right as well. Then you are to place a solid block, a dispenser, and then a campfire. Dig down 3 blocks here and then forward here so you can see all this. Then make this solid block and place a fence here, and then you might want to make a staircase out. Put a button on here and make sure you fill the dispenser full of infestation potions. To make this work, we want the armadillos curled up, so we're going to need a zombie. Then you want to name it and put a block over its head. And the last thing we need to do is put all the armadillos in this campfire. You can have up to 24 armadillos in here. Obviously the more armadillos you have, the better. So what you want to do is breed all of these with spider eyes until you get 24 of them. And basically what we do is we push all the armadillos into this hole. It will get loud. So yeah, all the armadillos are in here, and because the zombies under this block, the armadillos will stay curled up so they take no damage. Also, I forgot where these blocks are. You're supposed to put trapdoors so the armadillos don't escape. Anyways, how this farm works is if you press this button, the armadillos will get splashed with infestation, and then loads of silverfish will spawn. And then basically, you just get a sword, a sweeping edge, and just swing. But I'm in survival now, just look how quickly you get XP. Like, that goes up so fast. But yeah, unfortunately this farm is very loud, so you probably want it like far away in your base. But then you can use this farm to enchant all your gear and get loads of max sets of armor. Okay, next up I thought I'd go over potions, because in PvP, potions are basically crucial to winning a fight. There are 4 main potions I would use, that being strength, speed, fire resistance, and turtle master. That's what they do, it kind of says in the title, so you know, strength makes you stronger, speed makes you faster, and so on. However, a lot of people don't actually know how to make these potions, so I figured I'd show you all that right now. The first step to all of these is to put nether wart in the brewing stands to make all the water bottles into awkward potions. So to make strength, first of all you will put blaze powder in the brewing stand, then glowstone dust to make them strength 2, and finally gunpowder to make them splash potions. So swiftness potions are very similar to strength potions, however instead of using blaze powder you'd use sugar. So again, glowstone dust to make them swiftness 2, and finally gunpowder to make them splash. So fire resistance is slightly different to the other 2. First of all you put magma cream in. Then, instead of putting glowstone dust in to increase the strength of the potion, we put redstone dust in to make it longer. And then again, put gunpowder in to make the splash potions. Next up is Turtle Master. Not a lot of people know what they do, but it's actually a really good potion. Basically, if you get low in a fight, you'd splash this potion, and then it would give you a resistance 4, which makes you basically unkillable. And from there, you'd regenerate your health up and get back in the fight. So first of all, we put a turtle shell in to make these awkward potions into potions of Turtle Master. Then, like swiftness and speed, we put glowstone dust in to make it stronger. And finally, gunpowder to make it a splash potion. So technically it's up to you if you have your potions splashed or not. In my opinion though, it's a lot easier to apply yourself with these buffs mid-fight, especially Turtle Master, which again is an incredibly useful potion to have. The only difficult part about making Turtle Master is you need turtle scoots in order to make the turtle shells to make the potion. And in order to get turtle scoots, you have to have a baby turtle grow up and then it will drop the scoots next to it. See, it grew up here and then you get your scoot to be able to make the turtle shells. And then to make the turtle shells, it's basically the same as a regular helmet, but instead of a resource, it's turtle scoots. So obviously, this is a very difficult potion to make, so I figured I'd show you how to make a turtle farm in order to make loads of these potions. Before we make this farm, there are a few things you need to know about breeding turtles. First of all, you use seagrass to breed them, and then once you breed them, they'll try and lay an egg in the place that they spawned in. This is pretty important to building the farm. Basically all this means is the turtles that you're going to breed in the farm have to also hatch in the farm. So you want to get a silk touch pickaxe and mine the eggs up and move them into your farm. Another thing as well is that turtle eggs only hatch at around 3 to 4 AM in the Minecraft daylight cycle. So basically when the moon's like around here or here, I don't really know, it's around that time. So hatching turtle eggs is really annoying is what I'm trying to say. Because even when it gets to that time, it's not even a guaranteed hatch, like it could just crack and not fully hatch. So you're going to have to wait a lot of nights in order to hatch these eggs to be able to make your Turtle Master potions. Which is why building a farm like this is pretty important. The first thing we need to do is dig a 9x9 hole. I would recommend building this in your base so players can't find it. You want to make this hole 3 blocks deep as well. The next thing you want to do is dig 3 blocks down in the center and then dig 6 blocks in any direction. So this hole should be 7 blocks wide. What you want to do on the second block is place a chest with a piece of glass on top. And then on this last block you want to dig up and then place ladders to escape. This will be where you go down to collect all the scoops you get. Also make sure you connect the hopper to this chest here. Then you want to place solid blocks of any kind like this. Oh, and make sure you place water in each corner of this square. Next thing you want to do is place sand blocks, kind of like a checkerboard pattern like this. The farm should look like this. The next thing you want to do is you want to put chains in between each sand block. Then you want to break the blocks under every chain. So it should look something like this. What the chains do is they stop the adult turtles from falling down, whereas when the baby turtles hatch, they'll be able to fall through. Then you want to place a glass wall like this so nothing can enter and nothing can leave. Make sure you light up this farm a lot because if zombies spawn in here, they will trample the turtle eggs and they'll break the farm. Place the turtle eggs you got before in the sandbox kind of like this. Then you want to place carpet on these chains like this. What this does is it will stop these turtles when they hatch from falling down here, as you want some turtles in this farm and up here. As well as carpet, you could probably place solid blocks as well. You just have to make sure that the turtles don't jump out here and escape. Annoyingly now, we're going to have to wait basically forever for these eggs to hatch. Again, you want to wait till the moon is like kind of close to setting, and then these eggs will crack and maybe hatch. Oh, there we go, we've got baby turtles. This took quite a few nights, so it might for you as well. So once you have about 10 of these guys, you want to feed them all seagrass and make them grow up. Then you can break all this carpet and then you can start breeding these turtles. Eventually you're going to have loads of turtle eggs on these blocks of sand, and the next thing you want to do is wait for them to hatch. And when they do, the scoop will be collected in this chest and the adult turtles will be harvested. So yeah, I would strongly recommend building this in your base so that other players can't find this farm. As like I keep saying, turtle master potions are incredibly important. And finally, I thought I'd go over a load of extra tips that you can use in your PvPing. The first tip being, you want to stock up on loads and loads of golden apples. This is because they give great saturation as well as 2 extra hearts and loads of regeneration. So if you get low, you eat some of these and you'll be back to full health in no time. Don't underestimate how important these are to PvP, they really are. Secondly, for enchanting your gear, you can either use an enchantment table or villagers. It's up to you, but in my opinion, villagers are just a lot better. Making a trading hall can be tedious, but it is incredibly worth it to get every single book in case you die and lose your gear. But if you want to stick to the old faithful, that works too. Next thing is, you want to collect a load of cobwebs with shares. These can be found in mine shafts, child chambers, and other structures. These are really important as you want to use them to trap players mid-fight. As you can see, if I'm in a cobweb, it's really difficult to get out of, so if you get someone in one of these, you can then crit them out and kill them. And if you do become a victim of a cobweb, what you want to do is either place a water bucket to break it, or you can just break it with your sword. Next up, you want to build your base very far underground. This is so that players on the surface can't actually see your name tags, so they won't be able to find your base when they're exploring. As well as this, you probably want to make your own separate spawn point to your base. It can be close, but you probably don't want it to be in the same area. This is so that if your base gets raided and you get killed, you aren't sent directly to spawn, instead you'll spawn here. I'd also recommend having an end chest, a regular chest with some spare gear in, and an escape tunnel to get out of there. Speaking of spare gear, you want a lot of different gear sets in your base, just so that if you do die, you can easily get back on your feet. Another thing is, if you use keyboard and mouse, I would highly recommend learning keybinds. This just makes it a lot easier to switch between stuff instead of using the scroll wheel. So like for example, you can spam cobweb, switch to your axe, disable shield, and then just crit out like this. It's also super easy to switch from your weapons to stuff like gaffles, wind charges, and then like water buckets and stuff. If you're a Java player as well, I'd highly recommend using certain mods. For example, I used Apple Skin, which shows my saturation on top of my food bar, as well as Armor HUD, which shows my armor's durability next to my hotbar. Show coordinates, this one puts the coordinates in my top left. It's just a lot easier than using the F3 menu, as that can be really messy. There's other stuff as well, like shulker box tooltips, simple voice chat. I've got Fulbright somewhere, but I don't know where it is. Just don't use minimaps, as that will most likely get you banned. As well as this, I know a lot of people playing this are Bedrock players. This is Java PvP. That means there's cooldowns between hits, and the axes are technically kind of better damage-wise. But basically, don't spam hit, because that will not do nearly as much damage as waiting for your cooldown to end. There should be a cooldown for your weapons under the cross in the middle of your screen, kind of like this. I think instead of this, it's like dots on Bedrock, I don't know, but don't spam is what I'm trying to say. The last tip is, if you die and lose all your stuff, don't give up. In a PvP server, losing your gear and having your base get raided is kind of bound to happen, so you just have to keep going, get back on your feet. Hopefully this video will help you a lot with that. Anyways, that's all from me. Good luck, and I hope to go up against all of you in the future.